the computer is programmed to make an image stand or be behind this desk. And then if this camera was over here, when that camera was up and looking toward that person, the image behind them would be that image. And so it is all computer generated. And we are moving a lot more toward the green screens. The reason being is whenever we do tape a green screen, it takes a matter of minutes, 10 minutes or something, to switch from one program to the next. If we are taking this set down and putting up Dr. Markham's, that may be a day and a half. So you're taking 3 people to set up a program in 10 minutes, or you take 3 people a day and a half to set up a program over there. So if there's a lot of movement, such as with Clifford Goldstein, he never sits still. He is always very jittery, and David Ashrick, you can't tie that guy down with a chain. But anyway,
yeah, David Ashrick. He comes here.
Kind of a person, that kind of a personality would not work well on a green screen because they simply move too much. So that's why we have to have a set, like with the exercise, when people are moving a lot, we have to have that. But if it's just a talking head, they can be sitting here.
Okay.
In other words, we can't move the camera. If we move the camera to follow the person that's moving, the computer doesn't know what to do with that. It doesn't know how to make the change, and so it would just make things a lot worse. Of course, we have monitors set up. Inside the teleprompters, there's a clock, and the clock is counting backwards. So we put 15 minutes on it, or 30, or whatever length the program is, and the clock clicks backwards so that the people that's hosting the program can finish on time. The program has to finish exactly at 0. They can go maybe 1 second, 2 seconds early, but no more than that. And same with, they can't go out any late because our programs have to be, right down to the second. Over here, this of course is where Cherie Peters does her program.
See, this here.
Okay, so again, on this one we do have generally about 8 cameras. Most of the studios we have is 4, maybe 5 cameras, and that's the most we work with. However, for Cherie Peters, I don't know, she just has the energy that we have to have 8 cameras to keep up with her. So what we do a lot of times is, because there are people standing out here and they are up there, we have a jib that is making the movements. The different cameras are going. One would be just on Cherie, another 1 or 2 cameras on each of the guests, and you'll know that sometimes people from that's sitting on these tables will ask a question of Cherie or of the host, the guest. So whenever they do that, if we have a camera back over here shooting this way, what we would see is that, the green screen. Well, that wouldn't work. So what we have to do is this canvas. This is just a canvas that has been painted. So we take this canvas and just give it a pull, and it goes around on that track all the way over.
That's
so
brilliant.
That is actually part of the set. Then when we Cherie have
That's
this.
good.
So you can't see all that.
And someone maybe
Because they're making it, you know.
they say, yeah, I have a question. Then we stop tape. Then we take the camera and we roll it inside this archway and point it toward that person. And of course the canvas is back there. They ask their question. We stop tape again. We move the camera back out of the way, and then we just pick up the program where we left off. But that's the way that it has to be done. Again, this is not really a real wall. All of this is just styrofoam that has been painted to make it look like stucco and bricks and that. Do we have any questions about this studio?
I'm sorry to tell you this, I don't like it.
Oh,
That
really?
wall, when they have it there, I don't like it.
Oh,
Look like it's in a ghetto or something, I don't know. I don't know about you, but I don't like it.
That's the purpose.
I will make note of that and send it upstairs.
Thank you.
All right, we'll go on through this way.
Oh, I like it like that.
Mm-hmm.
It makes it original.
Yeah.
That thing makes it original.
It makes it look like original.
We're going to another place.
Another studio.
Another studio. What is this studio again? Where are we? What place is there again?
Studio.
It's it's Thompsonville, Illinois Estate Church. This is the 3 ABN.
Now,
Just trying to
don't know that
sketch.
it's a green room by looking at it because it's not a green. If it didn't have a sign on it, we wouldn't know that this is a green room. No, I'm just teasing. But anyway, in the green room, that's where the guest goes to change clothes. A lot of times we take one program after the next. We have guests that comes in and they may stay for 3 days. We will tape over a 3-day period. And during this time, we might do 13, 14, 15 different programs. But whenever you look at it, you don't want them wearing the same clothes one program after the next, because a lot of times the programs are not shown every day. They are shown once a week. So we have them go in. Some guys change only their ties. Some will change their shirt and ties, but still be in the same jacket or something like that. Women always change. They change everything. But guys will just change a tie or something like that to look a little different, like they actually left and came back the next week, which is just another thought.
So how much is your electric bill?
Oh, I'd hate to tell you. It's a lot. But we not only have the electric bill, it's not only for this building, but we have the sound center where E.T. Everett is, and that's where we cut CDs and do a lot of our opens, music,
the main
and so on.
hall.
There's also the call center that's
Is this
across
the
the
3
parking lot.
ABN? Is
That's
this the
where all
main?
of the
Yes,
The
where they
main
show it.
people,
No, I mean
whenever
the
they
main for
call
the
in,
whole-
order books or whatever,
I mean,
all of that
only
is in
Illinois
our
or
show
the
there.
whole-
Of course,
the
we
whole
have the
world?
worship
Whole
center
world?
where
Really?
Kids Time Studio is, actually over there.
But there's no
Then we
channel.
have the uplink.
There is.
There's
And
no
the
channel in
uplink
Ireland.
is the old place
There is a
where
channel.
In
Ireland
Ireland,
actually
no.
got it
Ask
started.
him.
Okay.
So we have that electric
Worldwide.
bill. Then you add all of these electric
Even
bills together, and it's a lot.
So are we going to tour the Kids Time program?
I don't know. I don't know. The studio is back there. It's open over there.
This is the only main studio.
Uh-huh.
You asked.
It is.
Come on.
Long-winded over there. All right.
Is this the only? Is this the main studio for 3? Okay.
Yeah.
And then now you're connected to different countries as well. Then
Yes.
through on the internet
Yes and no.
or TV or what is that?
Yeah, we do use, it could be microwave,
Yeah.
or it could be over the telephone lines. Or use
Telephone lines.
Or the internet, yeah.
There will be a channel for that, right? Because I cannot see that in. I know it's only here in the States, but I'm from Europe, so I can't see that there in Europe. You know, I can only access this through internet.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. That question actually is from with Master Control. Whenever we go down there, you'll notice if you look out this window or look out the door, you'll see a bunch of very large satellite dishes. And we used to, whenever we would broadcast from the satellite dish. Now we have Dare to Dream Network, we have the 3ABN English Network, we have 3ABN Latino, we have 3ABN International, and Sunbeam, which will soon be Kids Network. All of those networks are sent out over the internet. It's a fiber optic cable, and so we do not use those satellite dishes out there anymore. It is sent by fiber optic to New York. From New York, it is both uplinked, and it is also sent across the ocean over fiber optic. And then it goes to Israel, and from Israel, it is sent to 4 or 5. We have 2 satellites that's over the United States, and we have, I think, 6 or 7 that hits Asia, Africa, Europe, all of those over there. So everything goes by fiber optic lines overseas.
If something happened to those lines, could you still utilize those if you had
If we
to?
had to, yes. It depends. You know that we have been having a lot of floods lately. Well, about 2 years ago, there was a flood down south of here, just south of Memphis, Tennessee. Well, the water rushed through. It went. There was a bridge, and we had the fiber optic cable was under the bridge, and it got washed out. It cut the fiber optic line, and we was off air
That's how
for
powerful
about a day and a
nature
half.
is.
And
That's how powerful
so they had
nature
to
is.
wait till the flood dropped enough.
Water
The
can be
people
strong.
such as
It
AT&T
can
or
cut
Verizon,
pieces.
whoever operated that fiber optic, they had to then go out and repair it. And if it would have gone any longer, yeah, we would have
Fiber
probably
optic?
utilized something like that. My goodness. Okay, so I'll keep talking. I have worked for 3ABN for like 15, 18 years. I don't like to think of how long it's been, but as JD said, this was built in the 1990s, 96, I think, that it was completed. But before that, we was over at the uplink, which is about 4 miles from here. You would go up to Thompsonville, take a left like you were going toward Benton, then go take a right on Marble Road. It would go around to the uplink. Now, at the uplink of that, if you've ever seen the 3ABN Miracle Story program, and Danny and his brothers, they had a tape measure, and they put a stake in the ground and said, okay, how far should we go out? How big should we build this? So they would take a few steps out, and they'd kind of eyeball it. No, it needs to be bigger. Go on back some more. So they would go out, and then whenever they think, okay, that's a good distance, they would put a stick in the ground. Then they would determine how wide it would be, put a stick in the ground. That's how that building was put together.
And the radio station is still there.
It is, and we still tape over there. Tiny Tots is over there. The new Cook 30 is over there. Abundant Living with Curtis and Paula Akins is taped over there. So there's still a lot of the Latino children's programs are taped over there. So that building is still in use after almost 30 years. And that is the place where Danny did not have any money. I mean, just really nothing when he started. So he tells the story that they would get a $10 donation or something. They would buy some diesel, pour it into the bulldozer, and then they would grade until they ran out of diesel. Then they would just stop until they got some more money. They'd buy some more diesel and kept on going. Mrs. Summer, that owned the land, she's in the front of the property. So she had 2 acres in the front, she had 2 acres in the back. So Mrs. Summer donated the land, the back part, to 3ABN. And I'm sure if you've seen the miracle story, you remember this. But anyway, she said, I really wish I could give you the front part of the property, but this is where my house is. All that I have left is the back part, so that's all I can offer you. And so Danny called the satellite dish people. That's a 30-foot satellite dish over there. These are like 20-foot, but the one over there was an analog. It was much larger. So, and it cost something like $165,000 to get it put in and all of that. So she said, well, or Danny called this satellite company and said, hey, we want to put a uplink satellite here. And they said, that's not the way it works. You tell us that you want to put up a signal. We will go all over the United States. We will find a spot that will not interfere with, and then we tell you, and you go buy that property, and then we put the satellite up for you. He says, no, that doesn't work that way. God gave us this property. We want you to come here. But they charge, I don't know, $12,000, $15,000 to come out to do the survey. And they said, well, really, I don't want you to waste your money. Instead, let us find a spot. We'll tell you. Danny said, no, this is it. So they said, well, it's your money. If you want to waste it, we don't care. So he came out. They surveyed. They could not have went 20 feet in any direction. Right where that satellite dish is, that is the only place that dish could have went without causing interference. Wow. So we know that the Lord really put this in Danny's mind, and he has gone forward with it ever since.
Now, consider here, this is all built from donations from...
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Right. We have not gotten any money from any institution or church.
All donations.
Not
Yeah.
nothing.
That's good. That's what I'm trying to ask actually. It's been a question. That'd be good. That's awesome. Ireland.
Heritage.
It's part of Europe.
Students.
Okay.
My mom.
She's 11 years old.
My dad?
Stop there.
The control room was the heart for Studio A, or
There's a
Studio
control.
B, but this is a heart for 3ABN. And this is where the signals are sent. Behind those glass doors is where we have the computers that stores all of the programs. And I mean hundreds and hundreds, even thousands of programs are all on the hard drive. And we have these different monitors up here. We also have a log in which the computers read the log, and it knows which program is supposed to be airing at what time. So it will pull that program from the hard drive and air it from the hard drive. and it puts in the promos in between, the little advertisements about programs coming up, and those sort of things. So Caribbean English, Caribbean Latino, Caribbean International, Caribbean Russia, Dare to Dream, all goes from here. Do you want to give some more technical issues? Tell them which one is which screen is English and International.
The bottom row, all of the big ones on the two big TVs there.
Mom, you should
Are satellite returns for English, Latino, Proclaim, and Dare to Dream. And then up in the corner is that's the international channel, but unfortunately that's not a true satellite return because we can't see any of the satellites that it's airing on. No, not from here anyway. Instead, we have a someone over there who's capturing it, and then they're sending it over the internet to us so we can know that we're on air. It's a little complicated, but it works. But then we have, I mentioned 5 of the channels. We also have a Russian channel, and we used to call it Sunbeam. I guess now we're calling it the Kids Network. But right now, as far as I know, it hasn't. The children's channel is the only one that has not hit the satellite yet. It's still only on over the internet, but hopefully we can do that soon once we get everything set up. We also have a French channel that is in the beginning stages. We've got a playout server. I'm not sure where it's heading to from there, but it's going for now. But yeah, most of my job in here is to make sure it all stays up on air. If it goes down, in some cases I just fix it. I either restart a program on our computer system, or if it's something I can't fix, I call one of my engineers, and either they'll come in or they'll remote into the desktop somewhere, and they'll fix it from there. But when a live comes around, I'm here. I've got to press the buttons to take it from wherever we're taking it from. In this case, for the camp meeting, it's coming from the church. They've got a microwave unit that sends direct beam to our tower out there and comes into here. And I record backup tape as well as recording it into the computer so I can re-air it. So, yeah, that's my job in a nutshell.
Initially, when we were over at the Uplink, the original building, everything had to be done manually. So what?
That better than me.
So what we had to do was we had to literally take a tape, put it in a machine, and it's called queuing it up. We would put it at the proper place, but we had to check the audio, we had to check the colors on it, everything had to be ready. Then we would back it up 5 seconds and then hit pause. And then we would load another tape in another machine, and that was going to go for 15 seconds. So we would have to queue that one up. Then we would pull another tape, and it would be for 30 seconds. So we would queue that one up. Then we would put another one in for 45 seconds. We would queue that one up. Then we would queue up the next program into another machine. Then we had a countdown clock like they have there. Not a countdown clock, but it's a universal time clock, so that at exactly 5 seconds before the end of the hour, we would push a button that would start the tape machine rolling, and 5 seconds later, the switcher then would put that on the air. So that would go for the 15 seconds. At 5 seconds before the 15 seconds was up, we would push another button that would start that machine. 5 seconds later, that one would go on the air, and 5 seconds before the 30 seconds was up, we would, okay, so you get the drift. Yeah. So we are on what is called three-phase power. That means instead of having like 110 volts or 220 volts going into the system, we have 440 volts. But it's on 3 different legs. Sometimes, whenever we would have a storm, one of the legs would drop off. In other words, the electricity would just stop. Well, some of our machines, if it was on leg number 2 or leg number 3, they would still be operating. But anything that was on leg number 1, it would be off. So we would have to literally, in storms, rain coming down, lightning flashing, tornado warnings, all of that, we would have to get an umbrella, run out to the transmitter room. Well, actually, we would go to the generator first. We would start a generator, then we would go over to the transmitter room, reset the transmitter, then we would run back into the uplink building, go back upstairs to where master control was, reset your machines, and push a button, get us back on air, and then just play it by ear as to when you would have to stop that program to put the next one. It was something. And Danny, when we first started, he insisted that someone had to answer the phone. So we would advertise free offer.
The owner?
They needed to call for ABN. Well, the master control operator was the only one on duty. So we would have to answer the phone and still queue up the programs. And whenever it came time, then at the end of the hour, we would advertise the free offer. These calls would start coming in. So we would have to be stopping the tape, the machine, pulling the tape out, putting it, and then we had paper there. We would have to take their credit card information, everything, all by hand. Then what would happen is right 5 minutes before you would have to do another switch, the phone would ring. You'd pick it up. Somebody would say, "I've got a gun to my head. I'm about to commit suicide."
Oh.
And here we are trying to talk them out of committing suicide, and we still would have to be praying with them. You don't close your eyes. You keep your eyes open. You're praying with them. You're watching the clock, and you're pushing the buttons. And I'm telling you, you just literally shake the whole time. Don't commit suicide. But I got to keep 3 of them.
You were master control.
That was it, yes. And then we got to where that now we have people that work on Thursday nights. They take all of the orders, the free offered orders. We have pastoral that is on duty. They take all the prayer calls, and master control just keeps us on air. So it is drastically different than what it was 20 years ago.
So I just want to ask, who's the founder of the 3 ABN? It's Danny?
Danny Shelton.
Is it owned? Is this owned, privatized, or owned by the church?
It's owned by 3 ABN.
And who's the owner?
But not,
Is it privatized? Private? Private
It's
owned?
independent ministry.
Independent ministry.
Yeah.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. But
And it's who?
there is a board of directors.
Okay.
And so this is a corporation. And no one except 3 ABN owns the corporation.
And then how this 3BN survive? Through donations, aside from sponsors? No.
Donations.
It's all donations.
It's all donations. No.
Yes, all of it is donations.
How about advertisement? You only through no.
We, as a matter of fact, probably less than 50% of the programs that we air, there's even other ministries, like It Is Written, I think pays us. I don't know whether Amazing Facts pays us or not. There's only just a handful of ministries that pays us to put the programs on the air. And they may pay us to put them on the air 1 time a week, but we may air them 5 times a week.
Yeah.
So we give them 4 times at free. So we do have some income coming in like that we can kind of count on, but other than that, we don't have any income. It is totally, if we get the donations.
How about the staff? How can they? Are they what's how you call that? They volunteer here to work,
Some are
or
volunteers.
some are paid. Yeah,
I'm
okay.
one of those paid.
So you're blessed. Yeah.
Well, he's young. He's got to eat.
Yeah.
Older people, we can do without food.
Okay. You don't have to eat. Yeah.
You're already blessed.
But anyway,
And it's not, but it's not much. I mean, if I were working somewhere else doing this kind of stuff,
Yeah,
I
you
could make
can-
easily twice what I'm making now. But
Or
I'm
3.
here because I love it, and
And you
this
want.
is where my family is.
Amen. Yeah, that's brilliant.
okay, now that kind of ends pretty much the tour. We'll head back toward the front.
Thank you.
Just move back. There's people at the back of you. I don't want you to trip.
I don't know. I may just stay here. Yes, that's 7 and it's 5. Yeah.
Everything goes at 7. Next to you is at 7.
Yeah. I've got to make it
Okay, we're out.
way up there. There.
Thank you for the information. Okay. Okay, we're here now. We're going home. We're not going home. We're going back to our camp. And this is the Thompsonville, Illinois, the 3 ABN. It's a nice view. Nice view here. That's Gabriel. Look at this. This is the outside view from the studio. Hi. This is that's Joy. Hi, Joy. No, YouTube. You can see this in the YouTube. Yes.
Put it on Facebook. People are the one looking.
Yeah, you link it from the face.
Angel. Saka yung baptisi, I want it.
Yeah, it's in the YouTube. It's a very nice
Ano
view
title
here.
mo doon? Glen Ellen. You have to put
Glen Ellen?
so that people will know.
Okay, I will change it.
Baka nawala na naman si Gabriel.
Oh my gosh. Gabriel! Come on here.